I mean, either there's a genuine tension between the three branches and the legislative and executive have a right on occasion to correct the judiciary, or the judiciary is the dominant branch and can dictate to the rest of us. As Speaker Pelosi once said, if the Supreme Court speaks, it's the voice of God. Well, I don't agree with her.
Federal level, with what are called Article III courts, Article III of the United States Constitution, we can limit the subject matter that justices can rule on. We have it within our authority to decide what judges can rule on and what they can't.
Which is exactly how gay marriage came about, as we see here in the state of Iowa, where 7 justices forced gay marriage on the people of Iowa. I was the only one on this panel who came to Iowa last year and made sure that those 3 justices were defeated.
In recent decades, growing concern has arisen over judicial activism on the court, which has the necessary consequence of taking power away from the elected representatives and thus the people themselves, and conferring those in life-tenured, unelected judges.
You know, it's interesting, the California decision, as well as the Massachusetts decision, I don't think should ever have been implemented by the governors, Schwarzenegger and Romney. They were both decisions that the governors simply could have said, the court has said that we have to do it, but let them enforce it.
Less than a year after I took office, the state's Supreme Court inexplicably found a right to same-sex marriage in the Constitution written by John Adams. I presume he'd be surprised. I fought to have a stay on that decision.
Activist judges, regardless of whether it is liberal or conservative activism, assume that the judiciary is a super legislature of moral philosophers entitled to support Congress's policy choices whenever they choose. Mr. President, our Constitution is very clear in its delineation and disbursement of power. It solely tasks the Congress with creating law, not the courts. I have a long history of opposing activist judges. Judicial activism demonstrates a lack of respect for the popular will, and that is at fundamental odds with our Republican system of government. I believe that a judge should seek to uphold all acts of Congress and state legislatures unless they clearly violate a specific section of the Constitution.